All right, guys, before we jump into today's show, a lot of stuff going on with Philadelphia and also an OBJ update for the Dallas Cowboys. I do want to make you guys aware of a live show I am doing tonight with Philly 500, possibly Philly Mike as well, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on my channel. Don't miss this. We did a Philly roundtable with a bunch of Eagle content creators a couple of weeks ago, or almost a month ago, and it was absolutely fantastic. You guys come on and join, ask your questions, we hang out. Myself, Philly 500, maybe some other Eagle content creators are going to join 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, Wednesday. Don't be late. Be sure to go ahead and show up for that. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Wednesday. We have a lot of stuff going on regarding Philadelphia, but also the NFL as well. Main focus, I think, of this one, Philadelphia clinching a playoff spot this weekend, how they can do it. It's tricky, but there's a way, and also a couple of little minor news and notes you're not going to want to go ahead and miss. Let's start, though, with the story of the day, and that is Philadelphia's chances to clinch a playoff berth this weekend, Week 13. This is some pretty crazy stuff. Not a lot of teams can clinch Week 13. There's kind of a tricky path, but it's doable. Let's show you guys how Philadelphia can do it right now. Here's the Bleeding Green Nation article on it. Quote, here's how the Eagles can clinch a playoff berth in Week 13. And it says this: Philadelphia Eagles have virtually locked up a spot in the 2023 NFL playoffs with their 10-1 start. Keyword, virtually. It would take a catastrophic collapse for them to miss out at this point, but it is mathematically possible. Okay, it's not going to happen, but still, they got to at least get that out of the way. Eagles can officially punch their ticket to the postseason as soon as this weekend. Here are the Week 13 results they need to transpire. Philadelphia, 5.5-point favorites to beat the Tennessee Titans. They have to win. The Giants, 2-point home underdogs, beat the Washington Commanders. That's interesting, right? You'd think you'd want the Commanders to win, but no, you want the Giants to win if you want to clinch this weekend. More on that in a second. Rams, their 5-point underdogs, beat the Seattle Seahawks, and the Dolphins, 3.5-point road underdogs, beat the San Francisco 49ers. Now, as they say, the chances of all four of these results won't happen. If you build a parlay around these four results, you have 2,019 odds on DraftKings Sportsbook. You bet $10 to win $211.96. So the odds of that 4-point parlay actually going through are very, very slim. But as they go on to further say, you really need to focus on Philadelphia locking up the number one seed, which is why I would argue there isn't really a need or a rush to lock up the playoff spot this week. Now, you want to beat the Tennessee Titans. That's very, very clear. But you kind of want the Commanders to beat the New York Giants. In my opinion, you'd want the Commanders to go ahead and beat the Giants. Now, you're saying, Thomas, but Philadelphia hasn't played the Giants yet. They could sweep the Giants, and they've already lost one of the Commanders. I get it. But I think in the end, the Giants are a little bit bigger of a threat to Philadelphia than the Commanders. Now, I could be wrong here. You can comment down below if I am. Maybe you're more worried about the Washington Commanders due to the fact they did beat Philadelphia and their front four is a lot better than the Giant front four. But I would just say record-wise, the Giants are a little bit closer to Philadelphia, and so I would kind of root for them to lose versus the Commanders, but very much a toss-up. Now, Minnesota is the other team that could go ahead and clinch this weekend. Not sure if they are actually going to be able to. It's a very long list that we're not going to show you, that we just showed you here with Philadelphia. But the main focus, I think, is that Philadelphia is very close to clinching that playoff spot. But you got to remember, that could mean just being the 7th seed, right? They clinch a playoff spot. Doesn't mean they've clinched the division or clinched the number one seed overall. And that's the main focus, is number one overall, as I've been raving and harping on about for the past couple of weeks. Now, if you do think Philadelphia will complete the first part of that 4-part parlay to go ahead and clinch a spot this weekend, that means you're thinking Philadelphia is going to beat the Tennessee Titans. And if you believe that, why don't you bet on it with our friends at DraftKings? The link down below in the description box takes you to the TFN website you see on your screen right here. You bet $5 on the Eagles, you get $200 back if they win in free bets. That's all you got to do. Sign up using the link, deposit $5+, $5+ money bet. That's nothing. Bet on the Eagles next game and get $200 back if they win. That's $200 in free bets on top of your additional winnings. A lot of you guys have jumped in on this. Be another one here on the show to jump in on the DraftKings link below. Okay, some quick news and notes here that are important for Philadelphia. Big disappointer of the day. Philadelphia's Week 14 game against the Giants will not be flexed to Sunday Night Football. What? Well, what are they flexing in there instead? Well, let's take a look. So here's your write-up from Bleeding Green Nation. The Eagles-Giants will not be meeting on Sunday Night Football in Week 14. The 1 p.m. Eastern start time will remain for their matchup at MetLife Stadium. So they don't even get flexed like the 4 o'clock afternoon on Fox, game of the week or whatever. There was obviously some speculation this NFC East battle would be flexed into prime time, looking like a no-brainer for the NFL to move Kansas City versus Denver out of the spotlight due to the latter team being bad and, quite frankly, absolutely unwatchable. Instead of featuring Eagles-Giants, the league officially announced it'll be the Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. Now, Bleeding Green Nation goes on to say that that is the right choice, just due to the fact that Tua versus Justin Herbert is really good in front of a national audience, and Jalen Hurts versus Daniel Jones is not that big. And I get it, I get the draw, but I kind of push back a little bit and say, I understand wanting to watch two in the Dolphins. The Dolphins are really fun. Mike McDaniels, I think, has the Dolphins as the AFC version of the Philadelphia Eagles this year. They're built very similarly. They've invested a lot in terms of weapons. Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, unproven quarterback with a lot of, I'd say criticism going into the season, and they've outperformed their expectations, blah, blah, blah. But the Chargers, to me, are not a big national media draw. The Chargers themselves don't have a lot of fans. The Giants have way more fans than the LA Chargers do, and this one's going to be on the road at the Chargers, meaning it's going to be a half-full Miami Dolphins stadium, essentially, because every single road team that goes to SoFi Stadium when the Chargers play aren't Charger fans. It's just how it works. So, a bummer, not a big deal, but in the end, it is going to go ahead and not be Eagles versus Giants like we had said possibly it could. Here is your remaining schedule. No more primetime games. Tennessee is a 1 o'clock kick. The Giants, 1 o'clock kick. The Bears, a 1 o'clock kick. Then you have the Cowboys. There's your America game of the week on Fox. That's a Saturday game, Christmas Eve. Saints, 1 o'clock kick, and then the Giants game most likely will be a 1 o'clock kick because odds are Philadelphia's locked a playoff spot up by week 18, and they will be resting their starters, whether they are the 1 seed or not. If you guys like the show, and of course you want to be a part of the live stream tonight, the Content Creator Collab, that's hard to say 3 times fast, subscribe down below, hit your notification bell because we're going live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You're not going to want to miss myself, Philly 500, maybe some other Philly content creators going to have a bunch of fun. Okay, I do want to quickly mention some final practice notes here before we get into our NFL national story of the day. They have opened up multiple practice squad spots, meaning Philadelphia has the chance to sign people if they technically wanted to. As according to Complete Green Nation, they released running back Kennedy Brooks, little shocker there, and offensive tackle Roderick Johnson. Sadly, didn't realize Roderick Johnson was an Eagle, but he was. So now they have 3 total practice squads opening after previously releasing guard Tyrese Robinson last Friday. Remains to be seen how the team will fill these spots, Bleeding Green Nation said. One would think they'll make a signing or 2 or 3 in time for when the team begins to practice for their Week 13 game on Wednesday, or Thursday if Wednesday is just a walkthrough, which is possible. Today's Wednesday, nothing happened yet. Eagles look to add safety to the practice squad in the aftermath of C.J. Gardner-Johnson suffering a last-night kidney, potentially going on injured reserve. A little bit of a surprise there with Kennedy Brooks not being on the Eagles roster anymore. I really thought he was a dark horse kind of practice squad guy who could get some reps this year, but the fact that they signed Trey Sermon, just keep him on the active roster, and yet haven't used him shows you just how many running backs are ahead of Kennedy Brooks, right? Brooks is down here at 5. You have Sermon, you have Scott, you have Gainwell, and then you have a 1,000-yard running back this year in Miles Sanders. Pretty darn close. He's at like 900 yards. So a little bit of a bummer to see him go. Hopefully he gets picked up somewhere else. I'm sure he will, but I thought he was a great running back in college. I thought he had potential in the NFL, but it happens all the time. Great running backs in college aren't great running backs in the NFL. That's been proven time and time and time again. Okay, there actually is one more story, bonus story today. Jalen Hurts was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week, his first time ever doing that, which is very strange. He's never gotten that award, and it's the first Eagle quarterback to get NFC Offensive Player of the Week since Nick Foles won it in Week 16 of 2018. What was that? That was, I believe, which game was that? Now I'm blanking. Let me know which game that was. I don't have time to Google it right now. I can't even remember which game that was overall. Geno Smith was your top vote getter among NFC quarterbacks for the Pro Bowl, which still is absolutely ridiculous, but that is, of course, fan voting. It's only a third of the actual Pro Bowl nod. So Hurts will be a Pro Bowler this year, but the fact that it took a historic performance of 153 passing yards, over 150 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, to just get his first NFC Offensive Player of the Week after he has balled out a lot this year, a little bit surprising, a little bit disappointing. Thumbs up for Hurts, though. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. Should be no worry about that. All right, let's wrap up here with an update on the Jerry Jones Cowboys situation. Now, you're probably saying, Thomas, you told us last week that you'd be shocked if Jerry Jones and the Cowboys had not signed OBJ by this past weekend. You were wrong. I was wrong. I'm wrong all the time. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm not right. I'm 100% of the time. I think I'm like probably 70% right. Still passing grade, C, but I digress. Jerry Jones apparently is trying very, very hard and seems unfazed, according to ESPN, from the OBJ plane incident. Todd Archer has this write-up. This is interesting and does matter for Eagle fans and just NFL fans in general. Quote, Odell Beckham Jr.'s removal from an American Airlines flight at Miami International Airport on Sunday will have no bearing on the Dallas Cowboys' interest in the free agent wide receiver, according to owner general manager Jerry Jones. His overall team compatibility, his judgment, his behavior is not an issue with him. Jones said on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, it is with many, it wasn't with him. On Monday, Mike McCarthy said, I think we're moving full steam ahead when asked about the same question. Police said Beckham was in and out of consciousness and refused to leave the plane when asked. His attorney, Daniel Devalier, sorry if I butchered that, disputed the account saying his client had been asleep. The incident was a result of an overzealous flight attendant. Jones says Beckham is scheduled to meet with the Cowboys on Monday, which is after he's reportedly set to meet with the New York Giants and Buffalo Bills. You see that's the important part here. Buffalo on Friday. I think the Giants are tomorrow, and then he would finish with the Dallas Cowboys, which kind of tells you everything you need to know. He's going to, check out the Bills, check out the Giants, just make sure. Maybe they want to offer him a little more money. Maybe he falls in love with Josh Allen. These are things you got to kind of consider as a free agent wide receiver, but he will eventually finish with the Cowboys, and odds are the freshest taste in your mouth is the one you're actually going to remember, and that is going to be the Cowboys. So maybe not by the end of this week, but probably by the end of next week, OBJ will be a Cowboy. Will it have a big impact? That's really remains to be seen, because the whole thing about the Rams last year was it going to make a big impact? And it really didn't until it did. And then when it did, it made a massive impact. And so you can make the same argument for Dallas, where, first game in, OBJ doesn't do much. Fourth game in, still kind of not doing much. Final game of the year, playoff game is where he really could make a giant impact. And so we'll have to wait and see. It's a bummer, regardless if you're an Eagle fan, but if you're a Cowboy fan, it's a pretty darn good move and pretty exciting. And I think he's probably going to end up with the Dallas Cowboys. And let me know what you guys think on that one as we are out of time on today's show. Plenty more coming up later this week, including the live stream tonight. Don't miss the live stream. I got to emphasize that. So many people are, I do a live show, and then 24 hours later, they're like, you did a live show? I didn't know. If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I go live, which you might want to do, because if you subscribe to this channel, you probably want to know whenever I go live. All right, all time we have for today. That's it on the Thomas Mott Show. We'll see you guys in the next one. See you tonight.